leader of the group is Dr. Anane. He's joined me in the studio. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
How are you?
Fine. By the grace of God, we are
You're wearing a Ghana flag tie.
Yes.
What's that? It's not Ghana Day. It's not Independence Day.
No, that if we are doing national work, we must be national attire.
Is it national work? It's your pocket money now. Your
That is for the nation.
No, how? This is your own personal money.
People
how?
who are living in this nation are affected.
Okay, so tell me, the last time you and I engaged in the studio was because the DDE was coming up and you were opposed to it. That one has been solved. What is a new problem that you have?
Well, as you said, we were not opposed to it as such.
You're opposed to it touching your money.
That they should exempt pensioners. But they should have been the first group to ever think of them as the first group for exemption. So we got exemption after a hard struggle. This time around, it is the payment of the coupons and the principal. So we have been talking to government always, the delays. We always say these are the monies that people are using for their medication. When you delay the payment, you are stretching them. If you deny them access to their medication, then of course you are compounding their health situation. Definitely, many of them will lose their lives. So don't do that. Give them their coupons so that they can take care of their medication.
When you say coupons, what is that?
The coupons are the interest, the periodic interest that are paid on bonds. If you buy a bond,
so government bonds,
you are supposed to be paid 6 months, every 6 months. If the government is giving you, let's say, 20% per annum, half of your interest is given to you every 6 months. So every 6 months, the coupon is due, the interest which we call it.
And this has always been the case.
That's the case for government bonds.
This is not treasury bill.
No.
This is government bonds, government papers.
So every 6 months, you receive your interest.
Okay. Now, has it always been a problem that the government delays in paying the coupons?
No, it has never. In fact, let me say, even previously, earlier on, sometimes your banks even credit you before they even get the money from government. When you are expecting money to come tomorrow, before you realize today your accounts has been credited. Because some banks were doing that as they know the accounts will always, government will always give them. So I believe they were doing that to say that we pay even on due day when even government hasn't given us money. We pay. So that has been the trend that always, if it's due on Monday, likely not to miss that Monday to the following day or the following 2 days, you are going to get it. So this is a new thing.
And how long have you been buying government bonds for? Personally?
For me, I started investing in government T-bills somewhere around 76, 77. I started working 75. And
you started saving immediately.
That savings has been part of my behavior.
And you're saying that this problem with the bonds now is a first.
This is a first of its kind because government has never met such a situation. Default. We have never defaulted on.
So BOG pays the money to your bank, and then the bank pays to you. That's what happens.
Yes, that's the government. The government's account sits with BOG. So when the government directs, then the money will go to the various banks, and they will also pay.
What is the problem now? Why is that not happening?
Lack of the liquidity. There is no money to pay.
How? BOG prints money.
Well, they won't print money for this kind of expenses or this kind of.
So the government doesn't have money to pay.
Government says it doesn't have money to pay, and I believe so. The government has a problem.
So you because you have been in the finance sector.
But I also advise that government should borrow money from the treasury bill market to settle the coupons.
Give me a second. Now, these bonds that you bought from the government, that money you give to the government is an investment.
Yes.
The government also invests that money in turn.
Yes.
So I'm sure your money has been invested.
Yes.
There should be returns for the government so that the government then pays you.
Yes.
So why is it that government doesn't have money?
Government will not always invest the proceeds of bonds in solely economic activities that will generate returns. Social services are there. Government would put some money into hospitals, into things that may not
yield
But
immediate.
that is also part of the project that
But since
government
it's
should
a
do.
recurring thing, I'm sure there's already a plan by government so that as soon as the money comes, it goes here, and by 6 months it will come back this. I mean, I'm
You
sure
see,
government would have worked out all those
yes,
numbers.
government was doing that. Mainly, some of these things, it is the inflow that comes for you to service the old one, as we are doing now with T-bills. Government may not have generated any internally income internally to service it. But when the bonds market was still there, available to government, every week government will issue bonds. Then it will use part to retire the maturing bonds, and then sometimes they borrow in excess to also use for other projects. So that was available for government, so they were having no problems. But now that you have hit a default point and you can no longer issue the bonds, then there's a challenge that you are not getting the new inflows to service this. And the only inflow avenue available to government is the treasury bill market. That is what is not closed. And that is where government can always go and borrow. That's why we are saying go there and borrow and give us.
Are you the only ones affected, pensioners?
Pensioners,
or every bondholder in Ghana
every
is affected?
bondholder who has not tendered his or her bonds is affected. We were exempted, but there are other people who exempted themselves, the self-exemption that we explained.
So all these people have been affected.
Yes.
I want to know whether it's exclusive just your group
No.
everybody who is a government bondholder who exempted themselves.
Yes, also having been paid. But as I say, I was telling people that if government exempted you, you had a better.
That's why you insisted that the exemption come from the government.
You'll be paid when it is due, and you even have that better condition. You are not being paid. Then how much more people?
So let me simplify this. The government last year and this year said to you that the money you have come to give it, which is the bonds, it wants to stay a bit longer before it pays you back, between 5 to 15 years. You said to government that no, we don't want you to touch our bonds, which is our savings. Government challenged you, but for a number of months after protests, eventually the government agreed and said, okay, we will touch other people's money, we'll give it to them back in 5 or 7 or 15 years. But yours, we will give you immediately matures. Now, the situation now is that it has matured, but you are not seeing it. And you also don't expect it in 15 or 7 years. So you're not even sure when it is going to come. Or has the government given you a date by which it is going to come?
As at now, no. Maybe tomorrow when you have the meeting before we can.
But the deputy minister met you.
But they couldn't say anything about the principal. That's why they said they would engage us. And that's the engagement that we have waited and written 2 letters to them that please do the engagement, but the engagement wasn't coming until today that the deputy minister says they will want to meet us to do the engagement tomorrow.
How way back since the default started?
The default started even before the DDEP got ended.
Okay.
Because
so which month are we talking about?
February.
So since
February 6th was the time the DDP was supposed to end, but it was pushed forward to 14th. At that time, by the time that the DDP has ended, there were already 6 February coupon, which was in arrears. But nobody said anything because the DDP has been extended. So by 21st, the new date for settlement, we call it settlement day. The settlement day is, if we are issuing securities, the settlement day is the day that everyone who wants to buy the bonds, money or checks or payment, whatever, should have been settled. And the issuer will get the funds. And the same settlement day, that's the day the issuer also should issue the bonds to you. So that is a day that both the money coming to the issuer should come, and the issuer also must issue the bonds to you. But in this case, because the issuer was not going to issue new bonds for you to take your money, that was the day that the issuer will issue new bonds for you and take back your old bonds and cancel it. So they issue you with a new bonds and cancel the old bonds on that 21st. So on that 21st, which is the settlement day, after the settlement day, as soon as the settlement day ends, the issuer now would know who and who didn't submit or tender in their bonds. So before the settlement day, I will not go and say, pay me, because the issuer wouldn't know whom to pay, because he doesn't know who and who are going to tender and who are not going to tender. So we exercise that restraint and say, no, you can't demand your money now, even though it was due on the 6th. You can't demand it now. You have to wait until settlement day. So when settlement day came 21st, then ordinarily by 22nd, you should see a payment being made for people who didn't tender. We waited until 27th. We weren't seeing anything. So we went to the ministry and that, look, settlement day has passed. You should have started paying. Still, you haven't paid. What is the challenge? And you haven't told any investor to anything. That was the day the ministry said they will start paying because of some reconciliation and others. They will start paying on the 13th. So we agree, 13th March. We agree that we wait for you to pay 13th March. 13th March means the first coupon, which was due on the 6th, would have been there for 1 month and some 7 days. But nevertheless, we accepted. Then on the 13th, we didn't see any payment. So 14th, we raised alarm before government came to say, I'm going to start paying today. And government starting today said he was going to pay only the ones that were due on the 6th February and 13th February. I said, why? Then what about the rest? Say, I'll tell you that in due course. We didn't hear anything. We complained.
Did they pay for the 6th and 13th?
Yes, they paid for the 6th and 3rd.
Okay.
Then later on, government came and said, I'm going to pay for those that were due on the 20th
of February.
And you hear about the rest later on. See, that is not how. That is where we started saying, no, we have given you a chance.
So now you're receiving it piecemeal.
Yes, we have given you a chance when you had issues about the inconclusive nature, or you haven't completed the DDEP, you have completed, we said there were reconciliation issues, we have given you time to do your reconciliation. Now, there is nothing to be said about the delays. You have no reason to delay.
So that's why you decided to go to
from that side, then we gave government a letter that, look, by 21st of April, pay everything that is due. Otherwise, we will start picketing. The government did not do that. They called us for a meeting. They wanted to set up a technical committee to again go and look into how government will pay. We say, we are not the ones. You are the issuer. You have taken our money. We don't manage your budget for you. You should tell us how you are going to pay, not we coming to tell you.
So right now, where you are at is that your bonds have matured. Yes. Government is not paying you. Yes, so when you go to the finance ministry, all you are saying is, give us our money.
Now we have
that's what you're asking for.
5 coupons.
All of them not retired
yet. Not paid. It used to be more, but when we started picketing,
it reduced. And you're also certain that the government doesn't have money. So you're saying the government should go and borrow
from
to pay you back your money.
Market, that's all.
And pay you back your money.
Even though the government also debts would go up. See, the IMF debt ceiling or debt ratio to GDP, they didn't say attain it today. You can borrow from the treasury bill market to pay all these things. Going forward, when you normalize things, you can still work within and bring your debt level to meet that target. It's not as if they say meet the target today. It's IMF saying that don't just go and borrow anything at all to come and pay. And of course, apart from the principal, which when you borrow to pay, you may increase your debt level a bit. For the apart from the coupon, that will increase your debt level. For the principal, if you borrow to pay, you don't increase your debt level. You owe 2 million. Then you go and borrow 500,000 to pay off some 500,000. You still owe 2 million.
You're still owing, yeah.
So why would government?
It's just that there's a new debt. There's a new data.
A new data, but your debt level is the same. So I can't understand why government is not borrowing from the treasury bill market to pay the principal.
And you're saying that the consequence of this non-payment is really troubling. I mean, just yesterday I received a message from Facebook, someone desperately wanting your number, who said that she's retired and she needs your help because she's also in this mess. Yes. You're saying that people are suffering.
Yes.
What kind of things
people need that money for? You know, yesterday I was going to 2 days ago. I was going home when I met a very senior lawyer who is now old and unable to, he was doing some exercise small. And these are the people, if you meet people like that who have toiled and saved for their lives, and at some point you depend solely on your medication. If your medicine is not there with you,
you are gone.
You are gone.
And this is the money you used to buy that.
This is the money you use.
And that's why it was saved.
Is going to, you see, when you are praying that God should help you to give you long life, you have to plan to meet that long life. Because if you have long life, it comes with these pains, sickness. And this is the money you need. And people have started rationing their own medication. Because if the money is not coming, and you are supposed to take every day, you have to take one. You imagine people say, well, then I will take it every 2 days or every 3 days. And your level, your sickness level will go rise. And that will lead you to your grave.
We have to go, but I'm just giving you 30 minutes, 30 seconds to talk to. I don't know whether you want to talk to the finance minister or the president.
The finance minister is the principal man.
So speak to him.
We would assume that the president even doesn't. He's not
He's not involved.
He's not involved. It's you who is a professional and you have been charged. Please borrow from the treasury bill market and pay off. You will increase your debt level a bit, but it is better. And I always say that when we were in COVID time, Nana said, the president said, look, you can't bring back people who die.
You can bring back
the economy.
No, the economy is dying.
Yes, and borrow from the treasury bill, and increase your debt levels more, and pay these vulnerable groups, pensioners, and let them live. Because if you starve them of their own money, and they don't get the money to buy their medication and they die, you can't bring them back. But if we raise the debt level a bit, we can still resolve the debt level, as Nana said.
Thank you, and wish you all the best. That's Dr. Anane Antwi. He's with the Pensioner Bondholders Forum.